you know, you've heard it numerous times. You've been to talk to Shah Nawaz.
You want to talk to me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
No. You've been in our forums, and you know that what you're asking him is wrong.
So let me respond. I'm not asking him anything. I'm explaining while I was talking to Shah Nawaz why it really bothered me. I spoke to his wife and I said, listen, that Muslims don't know the most important thing in Christianity that happens. I didn't want to put Shah Nawaz name into it. He's a lovely guy. No, it's all about crucifixion. The most important thing that happened, the crucifixion and the resurrection.
The resurrection is the most important.
It's resurrection from the dead. So when it's talking about crucifixion, you can look in Corinthians 1:15. Yeah, okay, so it's always resurrection from the dead. The death has to happen. Death has to happen. So when I was talking to Shah Nawaz and his wife,
What does the Quran say?
When I was talking to Shah Nawaz and I said, what happened? And the best answer I got was, no one knows.
What does the
And I
Quran
said, people died, the disciples died on the basis of proclaiming that Jesus died and resurrected. Many Christians, up until the time of Islam, past Islam obviously, died on the basis of the death and resurrection. And the best Allah has to say in the Quran is,
It's irrelevant.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And then, who was the one who narrated? Who was the one who narrated Surah 4, 157? Who was the one who brought it into...
Muhammad.
No, show me in the hadith. Who was the one? So with other verses in the Quran, you get the context of revelation.
No.
What is the context of revelation?
What you No. Your question changed.
Okay, yeah, I'll answer your question.
No. Your first question was who narrated Surah 4, 157? Muhammad.
No, but in order to, when they were collecting the Quran, obviously, when Ibn Abbas, Abu Bakr was collecting the Quran, the first collection, then everyone was going to bring pieces of the Quran, and there was going to be two witnesses. One surah, there was only one witness, but there's meant to be two witnesses for everyone who brings the contents of the Quran. Who were the witnesses who remembered Muhammad reciting this? So I mean, what we were talking about before you came, the most important, crucial aspects of Christianity, the death and resurrection of Christ.
Right.
First of all, it's not fully explained in the Quran,
No.
and then even how it got into the Quran, we don't even have the context of Revelation. Do you know the context of Revelation from 4157?
Okay, first thing, you know how the Quran's memorized, isn't it?
No, I'm talking about, you know the historical, you know how the Quran was meant to be collected by Abu
No, I'm
Bakr.
saying to you, no. What you're asking is not the same. All right, you're saying the Quran about the crucifixion. You're correct. The Quran shows no regard for the crucifixion. Basically said, yes, it appeared that this had happened. Yeah, khalas. Yeah, there's no relevance to it. And that was my question to you. What is the relevance of it?
I want to say Shah Nawaz and his wife were absolutely lovely in this discussion. I'm just saying at the time I didn't understand.
No. But what you asked him,
No, I didn't ask him. You missed the conversation.
you asked him to find where it explains about the substitution.
No, what happened was I said it doesn't explain. He said yes, it does.
All
I
right,
said
I
fine.
understand.
show me.
Okay, so what? I want to know the relevance of the crucifixion.
No, that wasn't the conversation.
No, but that's the question I'm asking you.
Obviously, for us, the crucifixion.
Because you seem so upset that the Quran
I'm
dismisses
not
it.
upset. I'm concerned about it.
Why?
But the crucifixion is where Jesus takes.
What do you think the crucifixion proves?
You asked me the relevance. Where Jesus
Yeah, what it
takes
proves. What's the point of it? Let's imagine the crucifixion happened the way you say it did. What does it prove?
The crucifixion is crucial because it takes our sin. But please don't shy away from when I'm asking you what was the context, what were the context for the revelation of 4157. Please don't shy away from that. It's really important.
No.
And who were the witnesses? I'm asking you two questions. What was the context for the revelation of Surah 4157? And who were the two witnesses?
I have no idea. What's the relevance? Let's say I give you two names.
I'll tell you why that's a problem for me.
Why?
Because for things, much lesser things in the Quran,
Right.
there has to be, the importance of two witnesses, the Escobar,
Who told you that?
So
You actually acting like only two people knew the
okay,
surah.
so when Abu Bakr collected the Quran, the first collection of the Quran,
Right.
are you saying it wasn't a requirement that two witnesses affirm that this was translated? This was
No, what I'm
narrated
saying
by
to you is this. When the Prophet Muhammad recited the Quran in Ramadan with multitude of people, They all heard the Quran. They
So
all
you're
remember the Quran.
discounting then the need for 2 witnesses for the collection of Abu Bakr. Are you discounting that? Muhammad is dead.
No.
He's no longer. Muhammad is dead.
Right.
Remember, you've had the battle of Yomama.
Right.
Yeah? Many people who knew the Quran by memory had died. So now there's a collection of the Quran, and when they were collecting the Quran, one of the requirements is that you need 2 witnesses to say, yes, I heard Muhammad recite it. All I'm asking for.
Why do I need to know who's
All
witnessing
I'm
that?
asking for. Remember, this is not just any religion. This is Christianity. This is the people of the Quran and Kitab. This is the
Whoa. No.
Let me finish.
Please don't think you're the only version of Christianity.
Let me finish.
There's many versions of you
Let
guys.
Let me finish. Allah is meant to have sent down the Torah and the Injil, right? He says that He protects His word. None can change the words of Allah.
Oh, please.
Stay with me. I think it's a valid question to say what the foundation of your faith is null and void, but you cannot give me the context of revelation, and you cannot give me the witnesses of who were there to hear Muhammad recite it.
Do you use the same criteria with your New Testament?
No, it's Islamic
No, you don't.
traditions that say so.
Right.
I'm using Islamic traditions that say so. No.
Right.
It's Islamic.
So you're asking me.
Are you denying that the criteria when the collection
No,
of Abu
I didn't say
Bakr?
that, did I?
Okay, so if
Did
you're
I
not
say that?
denying it, Islam has its own criteria.
Right.
Christianity has its own criteria.
Right.
I'm using Islamic criteria.
No,
What's
but I'm not asking about the Quran. I'm asking about your Bible and why the crucifixion is so relevant
We
to
were
you.
talking about the Quran, and you want to talk about the Quran.
No, you asked him.
Hamza,
I said to
if you
you.
don't know the context of revelation, if you don't know who the witnesses are, then we
What-
don't
what
really have
relevance
much
is
to
it?
discuss.
If I give
Crucifixion is the foundation
No.
of
What
Christianity.
relevance to those verses? Who the witnesses were? What relevance is that?
Because it's meant to happen. That was one of the requirements.
Right. What relevance is that?
Quran has its own criteria, not the Bible's criteria.
I'm using Islamic criteria.
Right. So are you saying there was no true
Okay,
witnesses?
hold on. I'm not saying that. I'm
What are you
saying
saying
it's usually recorded. It's usually recorded. So you can go to your hadith literature, you can go through your list of names, you've got your...
But you're asking me right here now.
No, you can come back next week. We're here every week. You know that, Hamza. You can come back, you can go through your chain of isnad, and you can work out who was the one and what were the circumstances when
But what's your? I don't understand your point.
And what will happen when we bring
We're gonna go round and round in circles.
No. Establish your point.
We're gonna go round and round in circles.
No. Establish your point.
My point is very simple. Yeah? Crucifixion, resurrection,
Right.
foundation of the faith of Christianity.
Right.
Islam says
Dismisses it. Completely.
He said that Jesus was not raised from the dead; he was raised alive. You agree?
Say again?
Islam says the Quran says,
Was raised alive, yes.
Yeah, he was not raised from the dead.
Right.
He was raised alive.
Yes.
He was not crucified, nor was he killed. It was only a
Right.
Yeah. So, for me, as a Christian, to take the Quran seriously, I would want to know why that was revealed, what were the circumstances, who were the witnesses. I think this is really.
Why didn't you ask the same question about your Bible?
I have asked questions.
So why do you believe it happened?
Before I decided that this was true, I did my own investigation.
Why do you believe 1 Corinthians 15?
I found out. I did my own investigations, and my own criteria was I want to know what people at the time of Jesus were saying about it.
Right.
I wasn't sure whether Jesus was a real person.
Right.
I didn't know where the Bible came from.
Right.
I didn't know whether it was reliable. I had to go and
So
do
Sarah.
let me finish. I had to go and do my own research.
Right.
All I'm saying is, if the Quran, if Islamic tradition gives us a certain standard, then why can't you stick to it?
Okay. If the Quran is saying that it appeared to them that he was crucified, right? What would you expect the people to be saying?
I hear you.
What would you expect them to be saying?
Yeah, no, I understand that point. But
Right.
my point
So you asked the question. You made the statement that you wanted to see what the people at the time were saying. So what you're saying doesn't go against the Quran.
but my point with Shanawaz and his wife, I love them. There's nothing against them.
I didn't read Shanawaz for that purpose.
Okay, good. My point was, people died on the basis of his testimony. It wasn't just that this is what people were saying. There's the fact that people said, I believe that he died and he resurrected, and I'm going to hold on to that faith even if the Roman authorities kill me, because now we're able to not believe in it.
And people died denying Jesus was God, who were Christians.
Many people died.
Yeah, and people died not believing Jesus was the Son of God and died with
We can go there, that's a separate issue. We
No.
can go there another
We have to
time.
understand
But if we're still on the crucifixion,
Right.
you would agree with me that the earliest testimony of the church was that Jesus died, that man who died has been risen.
And like I said to you the Quran says.
No, but can you not?
No. I have no issue with people believing that because that's what the Quran says. So I have no issue with that.
So my question is, what kind of God would allow people to die for a lie? Allah must have seen all of this. When did Allah tell Mary, the mother, that actually your son didn't die and was resurrected?
Right.
When did Allah tell the disciples, the apostles of Jesus, actually no, he didn't die and resurrected him? He allowed them to die believing in
Didn't he see them after, according to your understanding?
Jesus.
Yeah. Did Jesus say I died?
Yes, in the Bible he goes and he shows Peter and he shows the apostles the holes in his
No, that's just. Did he say he died?
Let me get my Bible. I know, I'm not going. Now, you know when you know your own Bible, like I know where things are.
Which Bible is it?
No, it doesn't really matter, but I have noticed.
If you need something, you've got the other one as well.
So we have the angel of God saying, do not be afraid, for I know you're looking for Jesus who was crucified. He is not here, he is risen. Then you have,
So all the accounts agree on that.
yeah,
Do they? Show me. No, don't show me. I'm going to go off on tangents.
let me do one spot.
I still like you to answer the.
It's still a simple. I
Why
want you to answer
crucifixion
about
is
the
so important?
context. And the,
No, I want to answer why it's so important.
I asked you. If we're just going to demand who answers whose questions,
It's not.
we're not going
Well,
to
it's
get
not.
very far.
If it's the foundation of your religion, I want to know why it is.
I told you, because Jesus died for my sins.
Why do you believe that? That's the whole point.
1 Corinthians 15 says, if Jesus has not died, I'll read it to you. Then we are still in our sins, and we are of all people most to be pitied. If Jesus has not died,
That's Paul talking. It's got nothing to do with
you asked me
Jesus.
what the Bible says. I'm telling you what the Bible
No,
says.
Jesus, I said. Jesus.
You're Paul, man. Go and give you a type.
If Paul told you, that's another story.
I believe the whole of my book. I don't pick and choose the parts that I believe and I don't believe.
What?
I believe all of it. I believe the whole of my book.
And what about
You want me
what
to
about the
pick out-
Bibles that
you
contain
want-
verses
you
that
want me to
have been
pick out parts?
added?
Right. So Jesus,
Is this NIV?
Jesus.
Is this NIV?
Yes,
Maybe.
Okay, alhamdulillah. So there's parts taken out of this book.
What? Are they not the same?
Mark.
NIV is the same.
Okay.
Do you want me to show you? Over and over again, Jesus says, I must suffer many things, be rejected by the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and be killed, and after 3 days I will rise. He said this plainly.
Did he say that?
Yes, he did say that.
How do you know?
So if you want, okay, what's happened, Hamza? I'm asking you a simple question about the context of Revelation for 1:5:7. I'm asking you about the two witnesses. Now you want to get me to say, did Jesus really say that?
No.
Is the Bible true? You want me to now?
You know what? That's your authority. You said you believe it all.
Right.
So you believe Jesus was crucified, and you said
All
Jesus.
I want to know is the context of
but it
Revelation
doesn't
for
make
1:5.
no.
Do you have it or do you not? That's the simple question. Do you have it or do you not?
Do I have the two witnesses? No.
No, the context of Revelation for 1:4:157.
They're not written there. Context.
No, he's talking about in the Quran.
In my Bible, he died. It's very, very clear. But if you're saying that he didn't die, what's the context of Revelation? And who were the two witnesses who told Abu Bakr that Muhammad recited it?
Abu Bakr didn't know what he recited.
The camel bone, the bits of wood,
No. The Quran was being recited in full in Ramadan.
Muhammad is dead. We're talking about after the
No, but the memorization didn't die, did it?
Hamza. If you don't
Muhammad
have-
is dead now, subhanAllah.
if you don't
And I
have-
can remember
if you don't
what
have the
happened.
context, just say it. If you don't have the witnesses, just say it.
I don't require it.
Okay.
But the point here is this. You're saying Jesus said he was going to die for 3 days, and we read the other Gospels, and according to the disciples, they weren't even ready for this. They didn't even expect this.
Nothing really.
He said it in Matthew, he said it in
No.
Mark, he said it in Luke.
When he apparently raised, no one would believe it. Now, if he's telling his disciples, I'm going to die and raise in 3 days, why the disciples don't believe it when the women tell them?
It's not every day that we rise from the dead.
Well, it is if you're healing the sick, walking on water, feeding the 5,000, making prophecy.
So obviously Christianity started off with that. There's no.
Well, I put it to you, Christianity has nothing to do with Jesus.
Yeah, I know you want to change the topic, but you don't want to tell me that.
It's the same topic.
No, I'm asking you about your faith, the Quran. I'm asking you about Islam. What is the context of revelation?
Why do you need the context? It's clear. How did you kind of confuse her? Oh, you thought she was wearing hijab?
I wasn't here, so I don't know what's going on here.
We're going to have to do this later.
I'll tell you what we'll do, and this is fair.
You're going to find the context of
No, I'm going to give you the dates, and we'll be here, and we'll do it. All right?
context of revelation. You're going to do what?
We're gonna,
talk about-
I will come to you with this criteria that you're claiming, all right? And I'll have Brother Mansour with me because he'll give me the details. He'll give you what you need, all right? And then we'll do this, no problem.
So we're going to talk about Surah 4157. That's all I want to talk about. And that's all that the
No, we're going to talk
conversation
about this criteria that you're claiming. Let's see if that's...
No, the criteria. Everyone's heard. All I want to know is about Surah 4157. What was the context? Who was the witness? If you can tell me that, then that's fine. I'll listen.
And then what?
And I'll go and do my.
And then what? What difference would it make?
You guys, no, if you can't tell me that, I will go
And if I don't have those witnesses, then what?
If you tell me that, I will go away and I'll have a look at it. And then if I need to change what I'm saying, then I'll do that.
Alhamdulillah. And if I can't get you the witnesses?
Yeah, then we know that there aren't.
And then what does that mean?
Then it gives me a stronger reason why I don't trust the Quran.
All right. But then what about the people who heard Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam recite this?
How did you know they heard it?
Do you know we have people descended from the people who listened to him say it?
Yeah, exactly. And so,
In Medina?
And you can show to that.
Right.
When you say that,
Right. So your whole stance...
all I'm saying
Right.
is,
Are you trying to say, just so I can understand your point, because I like to make things clear, are you trying to say that verse was added?
I don't know how it got there.
No, is that what you're implying?
No. I don't know how it got there, but what I'm saying is,
Right.
if it's not even satisfying the
Right.
criteria, why should...
And what about the other verse?
Let me finish. Why should even you trust it?
No.
Why
Okay,
trust...
Alhamdulillah. And what about the other verse?
What other verse?
Remember, O ye, so when we made you to die and raised you to ourselves.
I'm not asking about that verse.
No. Or what about that verse?
Yeah, we can talk about that as well, but at the moment, my honestly, all I want to know is
Right,
about
I understand.
4156. And we can talk about that verse another time. 4156.
Yeah, that's true.
Seriously.
Right. And if there's no context there? If it's blatant?
Then I think it's a valid point for me to say, then why should anyone trust it?
So we just ignore everything that was said? All the memorization? There are people, I'll say it again to you so you understand it. There are people descended from people all the way back to Prophet Muhammad in Medina who heard it say.
Proof. Where's the chain of history?
There's a need. We're talking about people who pray behind the Prophet in Medina, their descendants today, who got it from their parents, all the way back to Prophet Muhammad.
If there's no context, I would just feel that there's no need to trust it. You can feel whatever you want, obviously, I'm looking to continue to but it's just something I've been interested in ever since we had that talk with Shana, honestly.
We'll arrange a date. I'll get your details. How can I get your details? Maybe to get it. Alright, alhamdulillah. I'll tell you the day I'm coming here and we'll do it. Alright? Definitely so. And like I said, I'll bring Mansour because I know he's got the resources that I need. Alright, you can bring Jay if you like. And we'll have it, no problem, inshallah. So everybody watching, we're going to do that, inshallah. Middle of February.
4157. I don't want to go on to know Bible collection.
Oh, no, we're going to do both.
Oh, no, you didn't say that.
But just try and
Why?
some of them shoot
No, but
so you have backup.
all I'm trying to find out when you came to the conversation.
No, we're going to establish the relevance of that.
No, because if it's, I want it to be targeted. I just
Yeah.
want
And where did you get this source from 2 witnesses? Where's that from?
I think that's in the hadith somewhere.
No, where?
I'll find it. And probably Yasser Cardi's book as well. I can.
Right.
I want
No, she wants to know the context behind the verse. So why would, like for example, Tabat Yada Abi Lahabi wa Tab. What's the context behind that? Well, we know it's Abu Lahab. They used to stone the Prophet. Yes. Right? But the problem with the tafsir of it, the Prophet Muhammad never elaborated on this verse. Okay? It's crystal clear. Okay? Now, the tafsir we get from it comes from Jewish and Christian sources. I'm going to explain it. Well, we're going to do that, inshallah. You and Jay, me and Mansour, inshallah.
No, I don't know Jay.
Yeah, Jay will come with you. Jay's here every Sunday, don't worry about that.
Don't try and drag Jay into
You and Jay, me and Mansour. Okay? I'm going to have Mansour with me though. Sarah, it's been a pleasure. Take care.
What you got, Hamza? Okay. You got my number?
Right,